Hi folks, this is Rick. Today we're going to talk about bases. I just wanted to explain a little bit about that to you. This is all candelabra base bulbs. Now those come in all different shapes and sizes. So anyway, let me pick that up so you can get a little closer look. This is the smallest base. Now this is a screw in. All of these that I'm showing you today on the floor here are screw ins. I do have some 2-pin and some 4-pin and all kinds of different things like that, but just wanted you to get an idea about the different types of screw-in bulbs that we have. Number one, always bring your bulb with you. Don't throw the bulb away and then come in and expect a guy to find it for you. It's almost impossible to do. So usually if you'll bring the bulb, we can match it up. Now there are some I've seen lately that I consider them to be European because it's just not something that we carry here in the States. But a lot of people pick up the lights and they're like, oh, it's a beautiful light, you know, flea market, yard sale, whatever. Well, let's just take that one home because I like that. And then they get home and can't find a bulb for it. So I'm going to try and alleviate some of that problem for you now. Now the next thing is what's called an intermediate base. And if you can see on the front of that, it's getting kind of blurry there. Anyway, intermediate base is in between a medium base and a candelabra base. So if you'll notice, intermediate base is a lot bigger than the candelabra and a little bit smaller than the medium base. Now there, like I said, are all different shapes and sizes of those also. I've got that in a compact fluorescent. This particular one here is a microwave bulb, 40 watt. But it should say on the package what size base it has usually. It may not say on some of the different candelabra base, but you know, you can pretty much take a look at it and see. Then are your medium base bulbs. Like I said, they come in all different shapes and sizes. You've got the regular light bulbs here in a 60 watt. Here's a 60 watt and an LED, same base. And then this is for like a can light or something like that. Now, this encompasses most of the different ones that we have. Candelabra base, intermediate, and the medium base. But there is one more that this store actually carries. It's called a mogul. And this is the mogul. Now it's only a 1, 2, or 300 and a 3-way bulb. And I'm going to stick my thumb into the picture and show you how much bigger that is than a medium base. It's a pretty good size. You know, and holding it up to that one, you can actually see the difference. But this is the only bulb that we carry in that size. There may be some of the outdoor bulbs that we have on down the line, and we'll get to those at another date, but I just wanted to show you some of these. Now these are the screw-in bulbs, like I said. Now I'm going to take you to the specialty bulbs and show you a little bit about these. There's all different shapes and sizes of those too. Most of those have different types of pins to plug into rather than screwing in. To name a few, this is what's called an MR16. If you'll notice, that's just 2 little tiny pins there. That's called an MR16. That's available in a 50 watt. There are also some 35s too. There are different shapes and sizes in that. There's another MR16 and a 50 watt, but that's an LED bulb. You get down here, that's a medium base and like a night light bulb. Here's a candelabra base and like a little indicator bulb. High intensity bulbs, like a 25 watt, that's an intermediate base. And if you'll notice, it usually tells on the package what type of base the bulb is. So here's the smallest one I have. This is only one bulb that I have, like for a flashlight. It's a G4.5. I didn't show you that one because we hardly ever sell anything like this. Then you have what's called a bayonet bulb, and if you'll see, it's got a little pin here on the bottom, and it's like a 2-prong. It looks kind of like a bulb that you would find in an old car somewhere. Down a little farther, you've got some halogen bulbs with a candelabra base, or a mini candelabra base as they call it. It still fits the same thing. I don't know why they call it mini. Over here you've got more 2-pin bulbs. This is a wedge base, and that kind of has the wires tucked into it. It's kind of hard to see on that one, but it's kind of tucked into it on the outside. It's not really protruding. But anyway, the base is going to look something like that. It's a wedge base. Now here's where we're starting to get into some of the 2-pins. This is a G8, and sometimes you can hold the bulb up to this and you can match the pins right there, and that will tell you whether you have a G8, G10, whatever. But you need to bring the bulb with you so that we can find out which one it is. Here's a GU10. This is a G4. Coming down a little farther, here's a G9, and once again, there's different bulbs for different situations. You really need to bring the bulb with you. All of these are G9s. Here's a GY 8.6. Now it's got a little fatter base to it. You do have to actually hold the thing up there. The little pins will match up to that. If it's right, you'll know. Several different types of G8.6s there. Here's another G8, and there are quite a few of those. Then you get to a GY 6.35, quite a bit of those. You know, different sizes for different things. Here's a G4. You get down to like your regular night light bulbs. That comes in an LED, and it shows you the candelabra base there. And here's a regular night light bulb, and in white. Then you start getting into there's another wedge. Then you start getting into some of the tubular shapes. Now these are called G4s or G3s. Some of them, and that depends on the size, some of them are small, some of them are a little bit taller. You can see that's 100 watt versus 150. But there are quite a few of those. Rough service, besides just a regular halogen. 300, 500. Etched into the base of the light that has these bulbs, it will tell you what the wattage is. Sometimes when you bring it in, I can look at it and match it up and tell you what you need. It's a little hard to the untrained eye, but you know, if you look at the element on the inside versus another one of a smaller one, you can kind of tell the difference in it. It's a little hard to see on these through the package. Next we've got some different types of bulbs over here that are all screw in. You know, there's a red one there and an outdoor flood, a green and an outdoor flood, a blue. Here are some of the night lights, you know, and of course all of these just plug in. But really all I was trying to get across to you was the fact that we have so many different styles of bulbs now. Like here's a 2-pin and a G12, and we can get into that a little bit too. Here's the difference between a T8 and a T12, and you can, kind of hard to tell in this, but you can look and see that T8 is quite small, T12 is the fat one, and that's one of the reasons you need to bring the bulb with you, because there's just so many to choose from. 9 out of 10 times you may go home with the wrong bulb just because you didn't bring it with you, and you're expecting somebody to guess and figure out exactly what you need just because you threw it away. Anyway, that's just a little touch of knowledge.